I've been up reading the comments about the interview I did with Lisa Leslie about Kobe Bryant. And I know that if I had only seen the clip that you saw, I'd be extremely angry with me too. I am mortified, I'm embarrassed, and I am very angry. Unbeknownst to me, my network put up a clip from a very wide-ranging interview, totally taken out of context, and when you see it that way, it's very jarring. It's jarring to me. I didn't even know anything about it. I started getting calls. What the hell are you doing? Why did you say this? What is happening? I did not know what people are talking about. So I've been told, or I've been advised, to say nothing. Just let it go. People will drag you. People will troll you. It'll be over in a couple of days. But that's not good enough for me, because I really want people to understand what happened here and how I'm feeling about it. I reached out to Lisa because I know that she's a longtime friend of Kobe's, to talk about his legacy and their friendship. We had a really wide-ranging interview, talked about many things: his career, his passion, his sense of humor, the way he was mentoring other people, how he was starting his next chapter. It was wide-ranging. And yes, we talked about that court case, because that court case has also come up. And I wanted to get Lisa's take on it as a friend who knew him well, what she thought, where that should stand. And I thought it was very powerful when she looked me in the eye as a member of the media to say it's time for the media to leave it alone and to back off. During the course of the interview, I asked follow-up questions because I wanted to make sure that her position and perspective were very clear. And at the end, when she said it's time to leave it alone, as I said, I thought that was powerful. And I insisted that that part be in the interview, because I thought that it put a nice button on that part of the conversation. When the interview aired, we got a great reaction to it. I talked to Lisa last night. I believe that Lisa was okay with the interview. And I felt really good about the interview. Really good about the interview. So for the network to take the most salacious part when taken out of context and put it up online for people who didn't see the whole interview is very upsetting to me, and that's something I'm going to have to deal with them. And there will be a very intense discussion about that. I also want to say this. I have been with Kobe Bryant on many social occasions. He was very kind and very warm to me, and I felt that we had a friendly relationship. I, too, am mourning his loss, just like everybody else. I still am shocked by it. It's tragic and untimely, and the last thing I would want to do is disparage him at this particular time. And I hope people understand that. And that's why I'm taking this time to speak to you directly. I've never done one of these before. I've never done one of these before, but this was so important to me that I felt I had to say something. I don't want to sit up on a set and read a prepared remark. I wanted you to hear exactly where I'm coming from and how I'm feeling, and to let everybody know that no disrespect intended.
All I have to say is, Gayle King, if this was your way of apologizing, which I highly doubt because you never even uttered the words, I apologize, you can keep it and shove it up your ass. For real. All of that shit that Gayle King just said in this close to 4-minute audio that you just heard was nothing but bullshit. From the time she opened up her mouth to the time she closed it. She actually sat up there and blamed the network, CBS, the one that's paying her money, for them putting out the clip that we all saw. Well, Gayle King, you could have opted to not ask those questions to Lisa Leslie in that interview. That interview, like I said, which looked more like an interrogation, should have been talking about the friendship and the bond that Lisa Leslie and Kobe Bryant had with each other, seeing as how both of them were in the same field. They both played basketball. They were both into athletics. They both were in the Olympics together. Why couldn't you just focus on that? Why did you have to bring it up? And then notice she mentioned that she brought it up more than one time. We only heard it once, but she mentioned that she brought it up more than once, but we didn't see that part in the clip. But the fact of the matter is she took absolutely no accountability for her asking those questions to her. She blamed CBS. She blamed the network that she works for putting that out there. And she wants to sit up there and act like we should be upset about this. And she says, I've never done one of these before. I wanted to come to you directly because I didn't want it to sound scripted from, me sitting on a set and reading from a teleprompter of some sort. How do we know what you're saying right here in this video, while it's a raw video? How do we know that wasn't scripted, Gayle King? After all, you have learned from the best, who happens to also be one of the worst, and that is your sidekick partner in crime, Oprah the Mammy Supreme Wigfrey. I cannot stand the likes of Gayle King whatsoever, or as people have been calling her now Fail King. She, like I said in my previous video, she has no class. She has no tact about herself. And she did the same thing with R. Kelly last year, which is why he blew up at her ass the way that he did. The only reason people probably didn't come at her that hard is because people still have a very touchy, it's a real touchy subject when it comes to R. Kelly. But with Kobe Bryant, it's the fact of the matter, this man is deceased and he's not here to defend himself. And then she went on to say that they had times when they've spoken with each other, her and Kobe Bryant. Well, you just disrespected this man. You know what? You are like your friend Oprah, the Mammy Supreme Wigfrey. Because guess what? Oprah interviewed Michael Jackson back in the 90s. This man opened up his home to this woman. Something he rarely ever does for anybody, or ever did for anybody in the media. But because he saw that this was a black woman who was trying to be a pioneer in the talk show realm, he did it for her. He rarely did that for anybody. And to come into his home, which was called Neverland, where it was considered to be private and secluded just for him when he wasn't touring or making appearances at various shows and stuff like that. He did that for her. And what does she do all these years later after he dies? Co-sign that damn Neverland bullshit. What is Gayle King doing right now? Saying, I had talks with Kobe Bryant. I've spoken with Kobe Bryant. And now here you are talking to Lisa Leslie, asking him about this case that turned out to be nothing but one big 3-ring circus. A lie, a sham. I swear, her and Oprah are two peas riding in the same pod. I have a heavy loathness. I don't know if that's a word, but I have a heavy dislike or heavy disdain towards those two and people like them. The straight up disrespect of the deceased, and they're not even in the ground yet, and then you disrespect his wife, their daughters, and even the memory of their also deceased daughter who was with him on the helicopter. But I shouldn't be surprised by any of this, and I'm not. At this point, I'm not even disappointed, because now I expect this much from her, which is not much at all. I think that low of the person you see on the screen. Now, we know she would not come at anybody else if it was coming to the subject about Charlie Rose. Say Charlie Rose passed and she had to interview someone connected to him. She wouldn't ask him about those questions. And she's proven that when they came out with an article, I think it was back in 2018, where she was basically talking about that's her friend. She's a hypocrite. She is a stone cold, heartless hypocrite, soulless hypocrite. And you know what's so crazy? Every video or every YouTube channel that uploads just this interview portion, like just the interview, has a lot of dislikes. The YouTube channel that I played this from has a lot of subscribers, but the video itself has 1,000 dislikes and like 200 something likes, just because of her and what she said. That this was a backhanded whatever it is that she was trying to conjure up. It means absolutely nothing coming from her. And like I said, not once, not one time did she apologize for what she did. All she did was shift the blame to the network that she works for, which is CBS, and said that they cut the clips and put it out there. Well, Gayle King, you could have opted to not even ask those questions, but you chose to ask them anyway, and then kept asking them. And then you tried to bait Lisa Leslie into talking shit about her friend, and it didn't work. And when you realized it didn't work one time, you kept digging even more to keep trying to work around and use your journalistic whatevers, your journalistic witchcraft, because I don't want to call it skills, because that means I'd have to give you a compliment. Your journalistic witchcraft that you learned from your coven leader, your headmaster at the coven, and you tried to use it on her, but your little Jedi mind trick didn't work. And that's one major reason why they're coming down hard on Gayle right now as we speak. Now, you know what's so crazy? I wonder if Gayle King would have came out and said this had Lisa Leslie fell for the bait and threw Kobe Bryant under the bus. I wonder if she would have came out and made this so-called response video, because that's all it really was. It was a response video. It wasn't an apology. So, Gayle, you're about to face even more backlash. You should have just not said nothing at all, because you should have known that just from the vitriol from people who don't like you already, it was going to have a major impact. I've even seen people on Twitter who want to do a race trade with you and Okra. Trade you for somebody else of another culture. Yes, I've seen those tweets already on Twitter. But I'm so glad that you and your partner in crime have finally been exposed for who y'all truly are. Because for too long, you have been very covert with your wicked ways. But now you and Okra have gotten so knee deep in your own egos, you can't even come out of it. See, when she got that advanced raise last year after humiliating R. Kelly when she interviewed him, because that's basically what it was, she got a raise. And now she's feeling good about herself. And she's feeling herself a little too much. And she needs to be knocked down a peg. But see, I think it'll be easier to get Gayle than it would be to get Okra. Because Gayle is nothing more than Okra's little underling. And that's all she will ever be. Fuck Gayle King. Fuck Okra wig free. And fuck all of those who think like them. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter if you haven't done so already. Have your notifications turned on, and I will talk to you in the next one.